据伊朗多家媒体报道，今天一架美军先进战斗机在伊朗科吉卢耶博维艾哈迈德省被击落后，美军飞行员跳伞并在伊朗境内落地，当地以悬赏活捉美军飞行员。报道称，有消息显示，美方也认为该飞行员尚在人世，并试图将其从伊朗境内救出。伊朗媒体还发布图片称，在坠机地点附近出现美军加油机和武装无人机开展营救行动。伊朗官方无任何通报。伊朗伊斯兰革命卫队则发布一张图片，但未做进一步说明。美方对此暂无回应。
Major news this hour. U.S. sources say for the first time in this conflict, an American fighter jet has been shot down over Iran.
So here's what we know right now. Search and rescue efforts are currently underway. These are images that you're looking from Iranian media appear to show part of the wreckage. We are still waiting for the U.S. military and the White House to comment on the situation, as it remains unclear exactly where in Iran the jet went down.
And we also have this new video, which appears to show what a U.S. military refueling operation over central Iran. In terms of what we know about Iran apparently shooting down this U.S. fighter jet, we understand that search and rescue operations are underway, apparently, to locate 2 crew. What more do we know, Haley?
Yeah, so very few details at this point coming out. As you mentioned, the Pentagon and the White House have not yet put out public statements or anything confirming this news, but we do know that search and rescue operations are underway, as we see in video that CNN has geolocated here. And I want to mention that this, it does raise questions about the reality on the ground. We've heard from the president, we've heard from Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth over the last several days, last couple of weeks, kind of indicating that the war is essentially nearly won, that the Iranian military is obliterated. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth saying that Iran has no air defenses. The president sort of indicating that the U.S. has been able to fly over Iran with impunity and sort of do whatever it needed to do, take out targets as it wished. And certainly the U.S. military has delivered a series of extensive blows to Iran, to Iranian's military. But this raises questions about the risk that U.S. forces are still facing in the region. We don't know the status of these pilots yet. Certainly it's a concern for their families. I know families of F-15 pilots back home are certainly going to be worried and watching the news closely here. But we've seen that Iranian state media photos put out appeared to show an F-15 fighter jet that had been downed. The Iranian state media also saying that a reward is being offered for anyone who may capture a quote enemy pilot or pilots. So there's a lot happening here that we are still trying to sorting through to try to find out exactly what happened here, where these pilots are. Certainly we'll be following this very closely and hoping to get more information soon here.
با توجه به اینکه جنگنده F-35 رژیم صهیونی آمریکایی در آسمان کشور هدف قرار گرفته و سرنگون شد، نیروی انتظامی استان در اطلاعیه‌ای فوری اعلام کرد در پی هدف قرار گرفتن جنگنده F-35 دشمن آمریکایی صهیونی در حوزه مرکزی کشور و احتمال فرود خلبان یا خلبانان این جنگنده در کهگیلویه و بویراحمد از عموم مردم، عشایر و روستاییان تقاضا می شود با نیروهای نظامی و انتظامی همکاری کنند. اهالی استان کهگیلویه و بویراحمد، مردم عزیز و غیرتمند، اگر خلبان یا خلبانان دشمن را دستگیر و زنده تحویل نیروهای نظامی و انتظامی دهید، مژدگانی و پاداشی ارزشمند دریافت می‌کنید.
Breaking news out of Iran, and let's just get you up to speed on that. State media have released images that they claim show the wreckage of a US Air Force fighter jet. A series of photos shows only small pieces of an aircraft, which the Iranian report claims is an F-35 stealth fighter. Analysts say the wreckage Photos appear to be from a US Air Force F-15 jet. The pictures show a partial logo for US Air Forces in Europe that appears on an F-15 tail fin and red and white striping from the top of the tail fin. US Central Command says all US fighter aircraft are accounted for. Iran's IRGC has made the same false claim at least half a dozen times. Again, Iranian media releasing images purporting to show the wreckage of a US Air Force fighter jet.
We see in these photos, which have been analysed by our teams and experts, that it does appear to be from an F-15 fighter jet, different to what the Iranian state media has claimed. They do claim that it is a fighter jet, though, that was shot down by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Now, we have reached out to US Central Command for comment on this particular claim by the Iranian state media. We have, though, as you mentioned, seen in the past that there have been earlier claims of having shot down fighter jets over the Strait of Hormuz was the earlier claim. US Central Command in that particular case said that it is not true that that had happened, and that Iran does often give these claims that then turn out to be false. So we're waiting to see if they have a response from this. It was earlier that the IRGC did claim that a different advanced enemy fighter jet was shot down. So we are waiting to hear from US Central Command at this point, but this is what the Iranian state media, quoting the Revolutionary Guard, is claiming at this point.
大家好，我是主播周玉琴。很多的朋友告诉我们，太阳星全效克菲尔益生菌帮助了睡眠品质。现在呢，进一步推出晚安加强版，添加了首创最适合台湾人体质的天然 GABA、色氨酸、茶氨酸、香蜂草4大天然草本助眠配方，强化睡眠全期都起到放松舒眠的效果。太阳星全效克菲尔益生菌，它本身就含有台大专利授权克菲尔乳杆菌 M1 等8种专利菌，首创益生菌、益生元、后生元黄金3角配方，帮助维持消化道的机能。有季节敏感、代谢困扰、关心异常细胞风险的好朋友呢，可以选择原版的太阳星全效克菲尔益生菌，它添加有超级食物羽衣甘蓝，健康再加分。而有睡眠困扰的朋友们，赶快选择蓝色包装这一款晚安加强版，绝对是更有感。选择太阳星全效克菲尔益生菌，做好日常保养，实现睡眠自由，身体轻松无负担。每日克菲尔，时刻美好 ，Good Feel Good， 请上快点购为健康下单，而且要记得输入推荐代码，有额外的折扣优惠。